Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've made it through this week's Marvel books as well as an entry from Boom Studios. Now it's time to move on to this week's DC books, starting off with DC's annual Valentine special, How to Lose a Guy Gardner in 10 Days. Personally, I think it would take, honestly, a lot less than 10 days to lose a Guy Gardner. One, at most. Sounds about right. But that's me. Anywho, as much like other DC holiday specials, we've got about 8 stories. In this case, we have the titular story, How to Lose Like a Guy Gardner in 10 Days. We have Red Tornado in Robots Are Red, Androids Are Blue. Booster Gold in Golden Pairs. The Flash in Too Many Dates. Constantine in Never Been Kissed. Plastic Man in Love's a Stretch. Wonder Woman in Say Yes to the Mess. And Nightwing and Batgirl in Date Night. So, starting off with How to Lose a Guy Gardner in 10 Days. The story focuses on Vicky Vale writing a story for the Gotham Gazette on basically the downside of dating a superhero. And so, yeah. She ends up asking out a guy. Guy is, well, he's Guy. He's full of himself, thinks he's the best thing ever. Yeah. But she does tell a story about, as a kid, she wanted a specific. Vicky wanted a specific bike, and one day, her dad managed to get her that bike. Rode it to the library. She had planned on checking out a whole bunch of books with the intention of hanging her bag full of books from the handlebars. And when she left the library, the bike was gone. But most of their dates appear to get. So basically, we get a breakdown of day by day. Day 2, dinner date. Guy refused to pay the bill. Day 3, seaside getaway invaded by Starro. Day 4, horror movie marathon. Very scary. Day 5, day trip to Dinosaur Island. Ignored for sport. Day 6, romantic, quote-unquote, homemade meal. Needed to shower. Day 7, drive along the shoreline. Broke the sound barrier. Vicky threw up. Day 8, dinner again. Didn't show up. Day 9, apology flowers re-gifted a bouquet from an enemy. Black mercy inside. Then on the 10th day, they get together in Gotham Central Park, and Vicky comes clean that, but also points out that she needed him to listen to her for once. She asked him out because she wanted to write a piece for Gotham Gazette about dating a superhero, and about how horrible it would be to date a superhero, especially Guy. He's rude, unreliable, but he cuts her off, and but Guy said that he was initially telling us a story about fighting a Kun warlord, and apparently he blew off the Kun warlord, telling that the warlord called Guy an idiot. That he may be an idiot, but he said he's dating a super talented and beautiful writer. He flies off. A week later, Guy shows up wanting to talk. And he makes the bike that she wanted. That she had briefly as a kid. Explaining that he was going to try and hunt down the original bike, but didn't even know Batman could do that. So he did the next best thing, about every picture and manual of the old turbocharger, practiced until he mastered every single detail, which usually is more of John Stewart's thing. But he wanted to show her that he wasn't just jerking her around. And basically, she'll have a full 24 hours before the bike vanishes, as he's using a lot of willpower to keep it going. And so she admits that she suggests they go for a ride. Nothing romantic, nothing flashy. A formal apology from her to him, and so he makes a motorcycle, and they ride off, and that's where the story ends. Next up is robots are red, androids are blue. Watchtower on Valentine's Day. Red Tornado is on monitor duty. Everyone has dates, after all. Batman points out that he's upgraded the Watchtower system with a new software uplink from the Bat computer. It's equipped with an experimental sympathetic generative chat AI. It's called a Bat GPT, if you will. So it was designed to learn and grow from conversation, and Batman would appreciate if Red Tornado gave it a test run for him. And so the chatbot and Red Tornado talk. And apparently Red Tornado has recently gone through a breakup. Well, not recently, but fairly recently gone through a breakup. He was dating Dr. Kathy Sutton. Apparently, they began seeing each other as she was working at Magnus Labs and frequently helped prepare him after battles. But the downside was that his memory, oftentimes, parts of his memory would be erased, and after he was damaged, and so they had to start all over again. But the Watchtower is able to pinpoint where Kathy Sutton is at Magnus Labs. Red Tornado goes to see her. As he's walking in, however, Will Magnus comes in, bringing Kathy flowers. Apparently, they began seeing each other. They grew close while working on a project for Wayne Industries. But Reddy's happy for her, you know. But he tells the chatbot that he does feel foolish entertaining longings that will never come to be. But it turns out that the project that Magnus and Sutton were working on was chatbot. And the chatbot is largely modeled personality-wise after Kathy Sutton, and so Reddy and Sona, as she opts to be called, seem to begin something of a relationship, which is where the story ends. Next, we got Golden Pairs featuring Booster Gold. So apparently, Booster decided to start a dating service, but it's gotten some bad reviews, so he time travels back to the date of the blogger in question, and tries to improve the date by his presence. However, a criminal is spotted, identified by Skeets as the blogger's date, the Marine Marauder. Booster and the Marine Marauder fight. She's there on a heist. Apparently, she's one of many Marine Marauders, but maybe she just likes the sound of the name. She has no aquatic superpowers. However, it does seem that she got away on the yacht shenanigans, and it's kind of hinted that maybe Booster might have let her go in the hopes of running into her later. But that's where the story ends. It's followed by Too Many First Dates, featuring the Flash. It revisits Barry and Iris's first date, and basically things keep screwing up, and so he goes back in time to fix it, making things worse each time. But eventually he talks with the Garricks, Jay and Joan, and Joan points out that the point is not about avoiding imperfections, but about embracing the journey. With Jay adding that his first date with Joan was actually a catastrophe, but it created such a memory for them, and it helped them to get to know each other better. And now, decades later, they're still married and happy. And Barry realizes that his love for Iris is contingent on a flawless evening, more on the genuine connection we share. And though he may have made a few modifications, making sure certain things don't interrupt, but obviously the date goes well, seeing as how Barry Allen and Iris West are one of the more enduring couples in the DC universe. Next up, we've got Never Been Kissed, featuring John Constantine and Gary Lester. So, young John Constantine is talking with his friend Gary. Apparently, Gary has never been kissed, but apparently, a kid in their class, Kenny Nelson, claims that he's kissed like 30 girls. But John has some, well, the usual ideas of what I would expect from John Constantine. As a kid, though, Gary's thoughts are much more pure, but even still not great. But John figures he'll help Gary out, and he'll kiss Gary, but no, that's not Gary's thing. So. But there is someone in particular, there is a girl in particular that Gary's got a thing for. John's sister. So John's not happy about this, and well, turns out the entire story is John reflecting on this at his sister's grave, well, with Gary's ghost there with it. And that is where the story ends, which brings us to Plastic Man Loves a Stretch. So, it starts off in Plastic Man's criminal days. Then basically constantly trying to impress a diner waitress. As he after he becomes a hero, he continues trying to impress this particular waitress. Sometimes in the form of bringing in his current squeeze as as a means of making her jealous. But eventually, she points out she's married, showing a ring. Mentions it a few times, again showing the ring, which changes each time though. Eventually, though, Eel tries to talk to her and points out that yeah, she says she's married, but every time she points out the ring, it's different. And once again, he was trying to chat her up, though it seems to be a bit more. This time, just gets a maybe out of her. And that's where that story ends, which leads to Say Yes to the Mess, featuring Wonder Woman. Apparently, leading up to Valentine's Day, Wonder Woman has had various people vie for her attention, wishing to be her Valentine, including Poison Ivy, Dr. Psycho, a young woman intending to a random cat burglar, not Catwoman. Like a young student wishing to impress Wonder Woman by returning an Amazonian weapon from a museum to Diana, only to learn that Diana herself had donated it to the museum. And so she basically sets up has everyone that's trying to be her Valentine meet at a certain place. All not telling them that they're all be that they're actually that there will be others there too. But she states that they all think that she's right for them, but they may be best understood by each other. And so she's not saying to be each other's Valentines. Even please don't find dates here. Just suggesting that they're yelling for her when they might be better off listening to each other. And it actually does seem to work out. Ivy and Grodd seem to hit it off a bit, as do Gardner and Dr. Psycho. And so Wonder Woman opts to try out Valentine's Day, but she also wants to know why a rodent predicted the weather a week and a half earlier. Which, that's honestly a good question. Why did... I know it's a traditional thing, but still, why? Brings us to the final story, Date Night. It's date night for Babs and Dick. They are going to a nice restaurant. The idea being that, however, no bat stuff. But Dick overhears a conversation at one of the tables that makes the point of even getting additional information. While he's gone, Babs gets in touch with Cass and Steph about, or rather, Cass and Steph get in touch with her. And it looks like some vans, a bunch of vans by the park, are the perimeter of Grant Park are carrying canisters of fear gas. There's an explosion. Scarecrow shows up. Patrol loses signal. Dick returns and they each have things explained, and so quick changes in order. Luckily, Dick wears his suit under just regular clothes. But Babs points out as they're on their way to Grant Park that bad guys are always spoiling their fun, though Dick adds that maybe they're just trying to provide some fun couples activities. Scarecrow's goons are dealt with. Babs and Seth are freed. Scarecrow himself is dealt with, and the goons from the restaurant are also stopped. And the evening ends for Dick and Babs at Dick's apartment, curled up on the couch alongside Haley. And that is where the issue ends. I do enjoy these holiday specials from DC. My favorite story of the bunch would probably be Date Night. The Teacher story was actually pretty decent. I'm not clear on current continuity when it comes to Red Tornado, but I could have sworn Red Tornado was married to Kathy Sutton. But hey, DC's got an omniverse, so that doesn't necessarily mean that just because he's married on Earth 1 that he's married on every Earth. So yeah. Yeah, overall, fun issue. Anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spuck signing off saying, live long and rock hard.